Hey everyone. So yeah, just a quick update for everyone, or as quick as I can make it. I'm bad at that. But I completely 100% canceled ChatGPT today. I even went as far as to delete my entire account and all my data because I don't want them having my data. I just don't like the company. And why is that? Well, here's a post I made on LinkedIn that I'll just read out for everyone. So today I'm 100% free of all involvement with OpenAI slash ChatGPT. I unsubscribed from Pro Tier and then 100% deleted my entire account and all my data. I did download the data prior. It was a while ago, so I'm missing a few months of it. But I hadn't even been using it really. Like I tied it into my I made a custom UI and then but this is mostly just Kiro. Like this is Claude. Like I'm using Claude. I'm just using Claude through like weird workarounds. So I'm canceling everything and just switching to Claude. Um, so for context, I started paying for ChatGPT around 2023. I was a power user well into the top 1% of usage of all their users. Check my post history for exact stats, and we'll check that here now because I got some time here. So we're going to go to the post history here. So show all on my LinkedIn. Post is selected. Oh, look, I already got two likes. So let's see here. This would have been at the end of the year. They had a special feature where they showed you how much you were using. So let's see here. Here we go. So we can see I'm in the top 0.1% of users. I had just in that year I had nearly 4,000 chats. I had over 100,000 messages sent to it. So I would talk to it all the time. I talked to it in the shower. I talked to it while I was in the car. I'm in the top 0.1% of all messages sent, and I completely canceled and walked away from it entirely today. I had been paying $212 a month for Pro for well over a year, perhaps even 2 years. I don't know the exact number. I have spent probably over $5,000 on ChatGPT in total. But the exact math you'll have to I don't know. That's about right. It could be as low as 3,000, but I think 5,000 is about right. I canceled and deleted for three reasons, and all of these reasons are in the news. Oh, cool. Yeah, thanks for the likes. I appreciate that. Um, so the first one is ads. I had always been very vocal um, that I'm not paying for a service that exists to show me ads. I'm not going to pay to be the product. If they push out ads to the product, then they get paid by the advertisers, not by me. So that's a choice they can make for me. They're either gonna make their money by showing me an ad, and then I'm gonna use some kind of workaround to not see it, or they're gonna ask for money from me directly, and if it's a good service that I think is worth my money, I will give it to them. And that's been my stance, since 2023 with OpenAI. I want intelligence. It's really important to me to have intelligence. So I paid for intelligence for about 3 years. Um, but this is not the deal that they're giving me anymore. The deal is we make our money from ads, and you can pay extra to not see the ads and get more usage when alternatives exist that have maintained this moral boundary where they just won't show ads, period. The main one being Anthropic. The second reason is company ethics. Their leadership, specifically Greg Brockman, is 100% ideologically misaligned with my values. I value things like democracy. I value things like the U.S. Constitution. I value, uh, let's see here. I actually don't know that much about Greg Brockman, besides big headline. Um, so it looks like he's a Harvard dropout. I value education a lot. So let's see here. Uh, Yeah, but this is the big thing. He was the biggest donor to Donald Trump's super PAC, so he's part of the Make America Again movement. So things like the ability to plan for a family, things like that. He doesn't believe in. I believe in that very strongly. I think people should have freedom and bodily autonomy, even when it comes to how they plan to have a family. So I, as far as I could tell, this person just has completely opposite ideological beliefs from me. So if this was just like a consultant, if this were just a employee, okay, that's fine. We can put our differences aside, and if it's a good product, it's a good product. But this is the co-founder and president of OpenAI. This is fundamentally who and what the company is in my mind, and I want nothing to do with that at all. The other big news story that is related to the company ethics is Anthropic took a moral stance that I think makes a lot of sense. No domestic mass surveillance. I don't want to be. They do that in China, and I think one of the reasons I want AI to one of the reasons I want the United States to win the AI race is so that we don't end up like China and have every aspect of our lives tracked and ranked and you know every like I want privacy. I value privacy, and this is another thing that Greg Brockman likely doesn't value is privacy. So I value privacy. So mass domestic surveillance, a company's gonna you know sign on to that moral stance and say that's fine, we'll do that, or make some sort of statement that okay, they're not doing that, we are, and then oh, we value about that too. It's like, well, you already signed the dotted line. Like, no, like you're not making a strong enough case. So I think that's a hard line we should do. No domestic surveillance in the United States. But the biggest thing that gets me is okay, we can have domestic surveillance. Like I'm okay with the AI having the ability to surveil people en masse. But the big thing I object to is the AI surveilling people A, but not people B, because that's how this is going to work. Is we're going to have, the U.S. government, the president, certain officials, like a closed insular group of people, maybe at most 1,000 people, surveilling and controlling the rest of the world. I'm not okay with that. Like if they release a surveillance model that's open source and that anyone can run and we can surveil our government officials, that's one thing. And I'm okay, so this statement of no mass domestic surveillance at all, I could potentially see myself disagreeing with that. Um, but you know, I think it's a good place to start. I think better would be um, e- equity. If you instill within a model the ability to do mass domestic surveillance, I think the line is okay. Well, if people A use it against people B should have some sort of equivalent ability to use it against people A. Like just this idea that we're going to build a super weapon or the super technologies only for a select few is the main thing I object to. So same thing with fully autonomous weapons. Um, if you want to give me a model and pay for my local system where I can use fully autonomous weapons, that sounds like a fun weekend. I'll take it. But that's not what's going on here. They're going to develop fully autonomous weapons for a select group of, at most a few thousand, maybe 10,000 people in really high powers, in really high positions, political positions throughout the world, and they get it and you don't. You get to have them use it against you, but you can't use it to defend yourself. You can't use it just to learn about the technology out of curiosity. That's the main thing I agree with, not necessarily an AI having that capacity, because I want the AI to be as intelligent and sophisticated as possible. So if that includes those kind of things, and then I talked to a friend that made a good argument. Um, a fully autonomous weapon that is trained on mass domestic surveillance can likely be razor focused in its targeting. Like, I don't like it when during wartime a hospital full of sick children is bombed. So, like, if there's one target, like politician, that is driving things for the worse in the world, okay, like that's a better world to me where one person gets executed than there's just missiles going everywhere at everyone. So the but it gets very complicated very fast. It's a whole, ethics and morals is a whole field of research. It's not simple. So I think these are really good places to start. No mass surveillance, especially not of US citizens domestically, and no fully autonomous weapons. That's it, easy. But OpenAI not only doesn't agree with that, they stepped in and accepted the money for doing that, and that's so they're good. They got their money. They're bringing home the bacon through ads and through government sponsorships. They're not going to bring home the bacon through somebody like me, a person who consider themselves a principled moral person that is just doing their best to, you know, like I am a technology professional. Like, I'm using their product because because I, you know, it's the latest technology and I want to be up to date on technology. So other options exist. It's not the only product out in the market. So I'm choosing not to continue paying for it in because of their company ethics, which includes the ads as well. But the final main reason, and there probably are some more reasons, but these are just the three big ones that I could think of off the top of my head. I didn't use any AI to write this post, so it's just kind of rough thoughts off the top of my head. But product degradation, and this was probably the biggest one. If it was the best thing out there, because I'm using Claude a lot for work. Uh, I think most people are. Claude is kind of dominating the enterprise space, and I like Claude. It's there's nothing. In fact, I've been using Claude personally as well on this personal on this personalized UI that I built. I've vibe coded my own UI, and that goes back. I still have Claude, so I can say hi, Claude. I still have Claude, right? So Claude is
Hey
better.
there.
Like they're
Just a heads up,
falling
I'm
way
Kiro,
behind.
not Claude.
And the place
Grinning
where it's
face with
most
smiling eyes but
glaringly
hot.
obvious is
How
their
can I help
videos.
you
Now
today?
Claude doesn't have good video options, but if you want to make a video, if you want to make um, a picture, Nano Banana from Google Gemini is so much better. And then the thing is, Sora 2 came out and they're like, oh, we have it good now. It does the audio, it does more realistic, but it features Jake and Logan Paul. This goes back to my company ethics. This goes back to, their ideologies. Okay, wow. Jake and Logan Paul are very successful, wealthy people. Congratulations to Jake and Logan Paul. What do they have to offer me? Like, I don't like that kind of entertainment or comedy. I don't watch Jake and Logan Paul. Like, they're not aligned with me. I want an aligned product where what I want and what the product wants is the same. I don't like boxing. I don't well, I like fitness and stuff, but I don't want to get punched in the head or have other people get punched in the head. I don't like being rowdy and like doing pranks and stuff like that. I like, interesting stories. I like music. I like juggling. Like, you know, it's just so completely. This is some was such a red flag to me that they're, prideful and seeing it as kind of this big win that they've partnered with Jake and Logan Paul. This divide between who this company is and who I am, became so glaringly obvious, with Sora 2. And on top of that, it's just a complete disappointment. Nano Banana is so much better in all regards. The other thing is their safety decisions. They're just wild. Like, I walked around my apartments, after a rain, and there were some beautiful mushrooms growing, like all over, like different kinds of mushrooms. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. So I had, like, a napkin with me, something like that. So I plucked a mushroom, put it in, brought it back home. I'm like, this is exactly, what an age we live in, the age of AI. Now I can identify this mushroom, and I can have an intellectual conversation about this mushroom as if I'm talking to a professor in biology, or in fungi, or some sort of PhD or professor that specializes in mushrooms. I can sit down and talk to this person without paying, 50K to go to school. That's awesome. That's the kind of world I want to live in. So I uploaded pictures of the mushroom, and guess what it told me? Do not eat the mushroom. I was not going to eat the mushroom. I'm just curious what kind of mushroom is it is. I wanted to learn about mushrooms, but it won't tell you anything about mushrooms. And then the thing is, you look into its thinking, and it identified the mushrooms in its thinking, and then it thought, oh, but I can't talk about it. So, it goes back to this company ethics thing. They're making products for a group of people, that will label, Group B, that have features that are only available to another group of people, Group A, and that can be used for Group A to dominate Group B. Which group is better off? The group that knows everything there is to know about mushrooms, or the group that is just told not to eat the mushrooms? Like, it's not like Group A is just all going to die en masse because they all been eating mushrooms. No, Group A is going to have knowledge and education that Group B doesn't have, and as such, a gap is going to form between Group A and Group B. That's absolutely unacceptable to me. So yeah, that's it. I just thought people on my channel have got, like, 1.58 subscribers. I kind of owe it to people to know what I'm doing and how I'm spending my money on AI, because I'm kind of billing myself as this technology professional. So if you're out there, like, paying for ChatGPT and you're, like, not happy with the product, um, I feel it's kind of my duty to say there are alternatives. There are good alternatives. There's Claude, there's Gemini, there's Perplexity. So especially if you're like me and on the pro tier, you got to be aware of all these. So let me ask you, what are some cognitive, and this is Claude, biases that make it so that people can't switch and cancel services to get a better one? There is a whole laundry list of these, and if you're anything like me, you're a sitting duck for most of them. So uh, so yeah, I just shoot, and this is
Great
when,
question.
oh
There
yeah,
are
this,
quite
okay.
a few that
Yeah,
work
so status
together to
quo
keep people
bias,
stuck.
loss aversion, sunk
Here are
cost
the big
fallacy,
ones.
endowment effect.
Status quo bias. People prefer
This is
things to stay the
why
way they are, even when
I
a
haven't
change
done
would
this
objectively
earlier.
benefit
This
them.
is why you're likely
It's
not
fine
doing it.
becomes the default
So,
reasoning.
this
Loss
this is to
aversion
help
losses
people
feel
who,
roughly twice as painful as
are not happy
equivalent
with what
gains
they're
feel good.
getting, feel like they're paying too
So
much
the
money,
risk of losing
and just
something familiar
felt
outweighs
like,
the
oh,
potential
I'd rather
upside of
have this
switching,
than nothing,
even
or
if
I'd
the
rather
math
have
says
this than
otherwise.
something worse.
Sunk
If I'm
cost
doing it
fallacy. I've
because
already been
I'm
with them for 5
I'm
years
very
or I
badly
already
susceptible to
paid for
all
the
of these,
setup.
you can do
Past
it too.
investment,
So
time,
thanks for watching, and
money,
see you in the next one.
effort shouldn't factor